To be honest, I'm as overwhelmed as everyone else with the news. And also that the Tsula Libin, the elegance of the Tsula Libin, his depth, his wisdom, will be a little difficult to convey. But I'll share my understanding of what you're saying about the occasion. Now, first of all, it is saying that to attain a birth, the rebirth in a royal lineage is very, very difficult, and only the most extraordinary beings attain that, can be born as a prince. That was one message. Also that this is not an accident, that as a deeply spiritual nation, a spiritual people, that this is the culmination of our devotion, of our prayers, and our sanam and karma, so that we have the good fortune of our prince being born. Then what he said was that, just his advice is that just as we pay devotion to the Buddha in various forms, like chaitans, lagangs, statues, that we should see His Royal Highness, the Gyalsey, with complete conviction as a living bodhisattva, and that we must rejoice in this, celebrate this, not just an occasion, celebrate this phenomenon.
Yes. So it is a big 10 day for all of us. So if Dashu could tell us how we Bhutanese should understand this.
Yes, I think this is particularly significant because His Majesty himself has said that we should not just celebrate, but we should focus. In fact, Their Majesty said that we should focus on the tendi of the occasion. So, in other words, what does that mean? What does tendi mean? And I'll try and explain tendi as I understand it. There is a spiritual element to it and an astrological element, the way I understand it. The spiritual element is that, we here we learn about interdependence. To me, this will be simplistic, but this means that we live connected as part of the wide universe. Celestial beings, human beings, life forms, wildlife forms. So this is the interconnectedness. And the astrological element here is that the celestial objects, they're continuously moving, and at a very, very significant year like this, the year when none other than Guru Rinpoche was born, when we celebrate the 400th year of Shabdrung's coming to Bhutan, then recently celebrated the 60th birth anniversary of His Majesty the Drukgyal Shiva. What happens on such an occasion? Now, my understanding is that astrologically, the planets, the cycle and the configuration of the planets and celestial beings are placed in such a way that is most beneficial to us. Yes. And it is at such a moment that His Royal Highness is born.
Yes. What does it mean by 10 day for all of us?
Tendi means, I think we just such a wonderful occasion has taken place. Such an auspicious occasion. It's good tendi at such a time. It means that we don't just sit back and wait for good things to happen. Yes. Right? It means that this is an opportunity, in fact, a responsibility for us to take care of this configuration, these circumstances and these conditions, to achieve our aspirations. Yes. We make our efforts. We need to understand our aspirations, our goals, and to achieve them. So when it's on such an auspicious occasion, what do? Our lums and libins and our clergy perform the kurims and sacred ceremonies. We go to lagangs, we offer prayers, we offer butter lamps, and all this is from a spiritual perspective, to clear the obscurations, obstacles in our mind, and see reality with clarity. And I think we can discuss this. We have this reality at many different levels. Yes. So this is why we perform all these ceremonies, why we do what we do when the tendril is good.
Yes. So how should laymen take this?
So for laymen, this reality which we are talking about, from a spiritual point of view, it's enlightenment.
Yes.
For laymen, I think it's an opportunity, a responsibility to think about what our goals are, what our aspirations are, and work towards that.
Yes.
It's as I was saying, don't sit back and wait for it to happen. We have to make it happen.
Yes. How about the fire monkey year?
The fire monkey here, as I understand it and as I've learned a little about it, is amazing. We can't hope for better circumstances. The fire monkey is described as a personality with huge, rich, amazing, astonishing leadership qualities. He's as like the monkey. He's supple, he's agile, strong, clever. He's the leader with amazing strength. And the fire monkey is supposed to be a personality who is in control, who has drive, and what's interesting is his challenges don't worry him. Challenges inspire him. Danger doesn't frighten him. Danger, in fact, excites him. And it's someone who'll achieve whatever his vision is. So the fire monkey personality is described, both in Western astrology and Eastern wisdom, as someone who solves problems, who does not stop, who achieves everything he aspires for.
Yes. How should we Buddhists celebrate this glorious moment?
As happy as we are, even in a celebratory mood, I think we would go back to His Majesty's wishes that we focus on the Tenji. And the Tenji, as I was saying, there is responsibility for us to perform the ceremonies, to clear the obscurations, and to see the reality. And if at the spiritual level, the reality is enlightenment, at our level, it can be nation building, as His Majesty very often reminds us.
Yes.
Here I would like to read His Majesty's own words, the national goal, which he says doesn't change. Policies change, but national goal doesn't change. And he has said that, I pray that there shall be everlasting sovereignty and stability, peace and prosperity, unity, harmony among our people. So this is the vision we need to understand and work towards. So that's why it's not just celebration, it's a huge responsibility for this generation to take the values from the past through the present into the future.
Yes.
And I think what we have learned is that the stars have spoken. With this kind of astrological circumstances, conditions, this is the right moment to do it.
Yes. You were also talking about nation building and responsibility. So how individual Buddhists should understand this?
I think it's both a collective and individual and collective responsibility.
Yes.
And I would go back to what I've also learnt from His Majesty's commands in the royal addresses, that you don't just celebrate your successes, but focus on your weaknesses. And that we Bhutanese do have our weaknesses. In fact, in the royal addresses, you might remember His Majesty has talked about the being good at planning but not implementing. We are not so good at coordinating.
Yes.
So we need to focus on these. Okay. So we need to pay attention to this royal advice, understand them, and implement them the best way we can. And remember that His Majesty is speaking from a position higher than politics, highest level of governance, advising all the players in governance, all the different agencies that are responsible for governance, that's all of us,
Yes.
to work in uniformity.
Yes.
We come together as a family, and this is going beyond metaphor, because on November 11th, His Majesty the King commanded that His Royal Highness will be a son to the people of Bhutan.
Yes.
And imagine, people travel far and wide to join families on this day. Can you imagine, or no, we can't imagine from what realm His Royal Highness came to join us.
Yes. And your last thought on this historic location, Dashu?
Today, as we welcome His Royal Highness the Gyalsey, who personifies his own and a collective identity, we celebrate the Bhutanese identity.
Yes.
Because the Bhutanese identity cannot be separated from the Bhutanese monarchy. And when we come together to celebrate this special occasion, we are consciously dedicating ourselves as members of the same nation state. Nice. We come from different parts of the country, from different linguistic, from different ethnic backgrounds, but we come with a shared consciousness, which is a shared values, which is a shared national identity. And today, as we celebrate the royal birth, we remember that this national identity is built on the strong foundation, on the integrity, fidelity between our king, our country, and our people.
Yes. That's Dashu. Thank you for joining us.